Hey guys, Ernie here and welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Rice dishes are a staple to many people's diets, but it can be very finicky and difficult to make in the backcountry. It's very easy to burn the bottom and end up with less than optimal results. Then you end up not only with a lot of burnt rice, but a pretty nasty pan to try to clean up. I've had my eye on this Keith multifunction cooker for over a year, and I finally pulled the trigger and bought it on AliExpress during one of their sale events. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you guys how to use it and make one of my favorite Puerto Rican rice dishes, Arroz con Gandules, or rice with pigeon peas. Thanks for watching, guys. So this is the TI 6300 multifunction cooker. It's got a 900 milliliter capacity and weighs just 9 ounces. It does come with this little mesh stuff sack. Dimensions are 6.2 by 4.6 by 4.2. It's comprised of a couple of pieces. The top, of course. The inside portion, okay, is designed to sit right inside. It's got this rubber O-ring around it, which whenever you clamp it down, I'll show you in a second, creates a seal. There's 2 sets of marks. This has little rice on it, you can see. It has marks for 100, 200, and 260 grams of rice. And you have these little markings that you can use to fill up the rice, okay? You can see it right there. On the other side is water, so it has the little water symbol. And how much water you need for 100, how much water you need for 200, and how much water you need for 260. Now we're going to cook 100 grams of rice, but because we're going to add things to it, we're going to add a little more water than they're calling for, and I'll tell you guys about that here in a second. You can also use this as a simple steamer. It does have some holes at the bottom, but they're not huge holes, so you just have to be really careful. To put this together, you can see there's nothing in there. To put it together, you just put this right on top, and then these actually latch on. You pop it up like that, and you've got yourself your rice cooker. It has handles on the back, which is nice. So that is the product. Now let's make some rice. To make this Puerto Rican rice, arroz con gandules, you're gonna need a couple of different specific items. On top of rice, you're gonna need this Goya recaito. This is cilantro based. This is what's commonly known as a sofrito. It's just a mixture of different spices and herbs. You're gonna need this, which is called sazon Goya. You can get most of this stuff at most grocery stores these days. This is just a little spice packet. And lastly, you'll need some gandules verdes, green gandules. These are green pigeon peas, the star of the show. You need to find these. Let me show you guys how to put this together. Okay, so we're gonna start with our rice. Again, this is 100 grams by weight of rice, and you definitely want to use medium grain rice, okay? You don't wanna use long grain, it's just not right. You're gonna wanna get the recaito here, and you're gonna wanna add basically a heaping tablespoon. You can kind of see what it looks like, okay? Adds very distinct flavors that you will not get otherwise. This sazon is very potent. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use the entire thing. It's got an orange color to it, you can see. You don't have to use the whole thing. I'm going to because I like it. I would try it with the whole thing for this recipe to start with. We've got our pigeon peas. I've already got some opened here. How much you're gonna use is kind of dependent on what you want. I'm gonna add more than you might normally, so let's say like 4 tablespoons worth. I like a lot of the pigeon peas, maybe 5. All right, we'll add one more, so 5 tablespoons of the pigeon peas. Overflowing tablespoons, you might say. And the last thing you want is some ham, and you want just a couple of pieces of ham floating around there to add some interest. So we're gonna do a nice heaping tablespoon of ham, just like that. Now the way this is gonna work is, normally because we added 100 grams of rice, you'll wanna find that mark on the side that corresponds to 100 grams of rice with the water. But I'm gonna say, for this, you want to get the rice to the level where it just covers the top of the food. But the important thing about this, you saw at the bottom of this inner liner, there's 3 little holes, and it takes a good while for the water to settle through, and the water is going to go through and go down. So go ahead and add some water. You can add more than you think you'll need because it's gonna filter down. Give it a stir just to get all those spices stirred up. You can see it is orange. And just wait. Let's just wait a minute and you'll see it start to go down. I almost forgot, guys, you do want to add some salt. I would say add probably a solid ½ tablespoon of salt, so we'll add that right now. You do want your rice to be salty and have some flavor. That's how good Puerto Rican rice is. You can see already it's taken up a lot of the water, so we're going to add a little bit more. and let it settle. You can see again, it's soaked up the water. So keep adding just a little bit to the level you want, and we'll be back. So we've got it, it's settled out. We've locked our lid. Now we're gonna use, I recommend using a remote canister stove. Obviously, I think it's gonna work best. I also recommend you use one that has very fine control, because we're gonna want to get this going, get this boiling, and then turn it down to where it's just barely boiling. A lot of this cooking process is gonna be about listening and hearing what's going on. You're gonna hear it start to bubble, you'll hear it bubble, 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 and that's all the water going down. Once it gets silent, you're done. If you wait too long after that, it still will make lots of steam, but if you wait too long after that, it'll burn at the bottom. You won't burn your rice, but you're gonna have a mess to clean up. Go ahead, put it on top. I'm gonna move the camera so you guys can see the top a little better, and we're gonna wait for it to start boiling. Starting to get a lot of noise, and you'll start to see a little bit of water coming up the top here. Again, you just wanna listen. Starting to get some wisps of smoke here. Once it starts to get those wisps of smoke, start to crank it down. See it coming? Now we're boiling. Now you wanna find that sweet spot where it's just boiling. So I've got it down really low. That's a nice sweet spot for me there. It's just bubbling a little bit. Now you want to just listen. You can hear it. That's just the water bubbling away. You want to go until that water bubbling sound goes away. It'll take probably 10 or 15 minutes. So let's see. Again, guys, it's super important to listen, because you can definitely burn the bottom. You're not gonna burn the rice, because the rice is up off the ground. It's off the bottom, right? But you can create a big mess. So just listen. It's still definitely bubbling away, and you can just hear the sound of the water bubbling. You just wanna wait for that to go away. You just have to listen for the transition over from bubbling over to more of the titanium doing its little tinking noise, and it's getting there. All right, starting to hear that tinkling. We're gonna shut it off, and we're just gonna let it sit for a good 5 minutes, guys. So we'll come back in 5 minutes, I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, let's get this thing open here. Still a little bit warm. Let's pour this out. Let's see what we got. That's hot. Let's see. There's just a little bit of water left, basically none. There's our rice, all of our pigeon peas. Man, that looks good. Let's give it a try. Perfectly done, absolutely perfect. Puerto Rican rice using the Keith multifunction cooker. So if you like rice and you want to make some on the trail, I highly recommend this multifunction cooker. It doesn't weigh that much. It's made out of titanium. The design is very, very good, and I've gotten nothing but excellent results when using it. This is the kind of product that if you're like me, you look at frequently, you think, man, I wonder if that works. Well, I can tell you it really does work. It's well made, and I'm very pleased with the purchase. Sure, we've all seen the rice packets, instant rice, stuff like that, but it does not compare to real fresh cooked rice. You could probably add just about anything to your rice and cook it in a very similar fashion to what I did this. These are traditional Puerto Rican and Latin American flavors, and they really produce an awesome, awesome tasty rice. I'm gonna try to find some other uses for this interesting pot. You guys have any suggestions, anything you think I should try? Leave it down below in the comments section. For now, I'm gonna continue to experiment with different recipes, occasionally eat some rice, which I do, even though I mainly eat paleo. Rice is something I do enjoy every once in a while, and I have to say, I really like eating it. Do me a favor, guys, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up down below. Really helps spread things across YouTube. If you wanna make sure you don't miss any videos, hit the subscription button. And if you want to be absolutely sure you don't miss any videos, hit that ding dong bell and you'll be the first to know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more cooking videos here on the channel, let me know down below. It's really nice to hear from you guys, to see the kind of videos that you want me to put out. As always, I appreciate you checking out the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Stay tuned for more videos soon.